Hello. So, my name is Jason Nowell. I am the coordinating lecturer for the Department of Mathematics at the University of Florida. So, in terms of background, I got my Bachelor's of Science and Master's of Science in Mathematics at University of New Hampshire, way up in the gloriously cold Northeast. I then moved down here to Florida, where I got another master's and my PhD in mathematics, specifically in analysis. So my research, so I primarily do research in multivariable complex analysis. So that's sort of doing sort of arbitrarily many variables or infinitely many dimensional spaces, and doing complex numbers instead of real numbers. But a lot of it is very similar to calculus, just at a much more sort of rigorous level. I also do some work in dynamical systems, which this idea of things like stability and finding where sort of iterating systems or finding out how systems sort of stabilize over time, stuff like that. And one of my sort of real passions is in math education. So sort of finding out how people learn math, how people retain math, and sort of using that and sort of publishing research in that and trying to make that sort of better sort of system overall as we go, such as I can. At UF, I am sort of the key developer, or really the lead developer of Kronos, which is an in-house system that we built for providing free online math homework and education software. It's interactive with a variety of other tools as well, but the goal was really to make something that was free so that college would be less expensive, as well as sort of more interesting and updated compared to a lot of other math tools. So I'm sort of the guy that builds and fixes and debugs that as it goes. In terms of sort of previous work, so I've done all kinds of teaching for over a decade now, doing in-person stuff and online stuff. These days I am mostly doing online courses now that I'm sort of that guy in the math department. I've done everything from pre-calculus work through graduate level courses, primarily in calculus and analysis, which are my sort of areas of expertise. And I sort of try to utilize these cutting edge technologies like Kronos to try to bring more sort of interaction and more sort of geometric visual understanding. I try to present things in a way that is sort of more visually accessible. So this is sort of a real key personal goal of mine. And I also try to revisit sort of standard teaching assumptions. One of the things that we sort of learn in education research is that we are using the best tools that we know how to use, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are good tools in some cases. So I try to revisit sort of classical assumptions and try new techniques and see how that works. In terms of sort of personal details, I am from New Hampshire. That's one of the reasons I went to University of New Hampshire. So I'm very much a cold weather person. I am dying in Florida with all the heat and humidity. I'm very much the 40 degrees is almost sweatshirt weather. That's my area. And in terms of things like hobbies, so I do gaming, from board games, video games, all kinds of D&D, all kinds of gaming. I do woodworking as a hobby, so I make furniture and drawers and little knickknacks and all kinds of stuff. And I do creative writing as a creative outlet. So do writing fiction, fantasy, poetry, whatever, sort of as whenever I'm not, trying to figure out how to do teaching or spending my time doing research in the very objective world of mathematics. So that is me in a nutshell as a person. And there we go. That is that.